Good day, viewers. I'm Dr. Ozomami Rose Agu, a past president of Medical Women Association of Nigeria, Ebonyi State Branch. The members of Ebonyi State Branch of the Medical Women from the Obs and Gynae department will today be discussing a very important topic, the intimate partner violence. Intimate partner violence is one of the most common forms of violence against women and include physical, sexual, and emotional, including controlling behavior by an intimate partner. And it occurs in all settings and among all socioeconomic, religious, and cultural groups. And it affects more than 15 to 75% of women from studies that have been done all over the world. And we are thinking this is a very topical issue that will be addressed. We want you to listen very carefully to the discussion that will be taking place. Dr. Muidago, Dr. Obo, Dr. Ozoma Obo, Dr. Chinonso, and Dr. Emekirem will be discussing this topic, and I want you to listen from the very beginning right to the end, not stopping at any point, because towards the end you're going to get the meat of the whole thing. Happy viewing.
Good day, viewers. This day we are going to this is a presentation from the Department of Obstetrics and Gynaecology, Alex Ekweme Federal Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki, Ebonyi State. This presentation is for our monthly meeting of the Medical Women's Association of Nigeria, Ebonyi State Chapter. And today, we are going to be discussing on intimate partner violence in our marriages. And to lead the discussion is myself, Dr. Esther Emeka Irem, and
Dr. Bono Uzoma,
Dr. Masilo Diwechinamsa,
Dr. Nkiruka Uchenwedago.
Okay, then we are going to start by identifying what is actually intimate partner violence, and we'll have Dr. Ozoma tell us about that.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Intimate partner violence is any behavior in an intimate relationship, be it a marriage relationship or not, that causes physical, psychological, financial, emotional, or sexual harm to both partners in the relationship, in which there are physical acts of terror or sexual coercion, or acts that cause a person to feel less than human. This intimate partner violence is being experienced by a lot of people in relationships, both male and female, and has caused a lot of morbidity and mortality. A lot of people have lost their lives because they failed to realize that they were in an abusive relationship.
This was morbidity and mortality. Can you break it down for us?
Okay, simply put, it has caused a lot of life-threatening injuries and death. Okay. In some instances. People have lost their lives. We've had issues of women throwing hot water on their husbands in fits of anger. We've had women stab their husbands, and even men kill their wives. So this intimate partner violence is an infringement on human rights, on a person's basic human rights. So we are here today to talk about it and ways that we can avoid such intimate partner violence, because it is bringing a very big, it's causing a lot of problems in our society. Thank you very much.
Okay, so from what you said, you mean to tell us that either party can be intimately violated, like if I'm to put it like that. So it's not necessarily the woman that is always at the receiving end, because on these days there's a rising incidence of women. It's like the women are now trying to react to what they have been receiving all this while. Okay, so they are now either stabbing their husbands or pouring hot water on their husband, or even killing the men and now there's an uproar by the men, these women wants to kill us. So it can actually be either way.
It's actually
So, and then from your definition, do you mean to say that in a relationship that a woman or a man can be raped?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yes, rape can be defined as someone purposefully penetrating another person, both orally, vaginally, or anally, without the person being affected consent. So a man can be raped by a woman can be raped by a man. And in the context of a marriage relationship, if a woman hasn't given the husband the consent to have sexual relations with her, and he forces himself on her without her consent, it is rape.
But he will say that it is his right. As a man in the house, it's his right. So how can you say that I'm raping you when you're denying me of my right as a man to sleep with you?
Well, it is the law. The woman has to give consent because it's her body.
Okay.
Consent must be given, otherwise it is rape, both in the confines of a marriage or in other relationship.
I think this is getting interesting because sometimes when we are ignorant of some of those things, it leads to some of these abuses we experience in marriages. But I think when people are beginning to get educated or begin to get educated on what people's rights are, that where your rights end is where mine begins. So I think it will go a long way to reduce some of the problems people are experiencing in their marriages. Okay.
So I'd like to say that women should also be careful in denying men.
Yeah.
Because as my colleague would also go into, they should be careful to balance such, not overdoing it that could frustrate a man and cause the incidence of rape. Because it could lead
to the violence.
Yes,
okay. So can we know the different kinds of intimate partner violence a couple or partners can be involved in a relationship?
Thank you so much. Just like she defined, different forms of intimate partner violence that can happen to couples in a relationship include psychological violence, emotional violence, physical, which is the most common, then sexual abuse. When someone in a relationship, you try to raise your hand against the other, if you're already physically assaulting the person, and if you hit, you have violated the person's rights. You are physically assaulted. Is a physical violence in intimate partner violence, and it could lead you to. You could be sued. It could lead to separation. It could lead to death, which is what we are seeing everywhere. Then, secondly, emotional violence. When we are gynecologists, we are obstetricians. When a woman is pregnant, our hormone tend to do a lot of things. And she desires, or there's an emotional aspect of her life at that period that you do not supply, you do not meet up to. You are denying her that emotional rights. You are violating her emotionally.
Please, what kind of emotional rights?
When women I'm using pregnant women now as an example.
Okay, because they're gynecologists.
Yes. When a woman is pregnant, she wants to be pampered. She wants to be cared for. Not necessarily bringing out the money, bringing out the food. She needs that care. My body needs your care. That's when we clap them, we say, do you enjoy your husband's support? Support could be in any form, including emotions. So if you don't supply that, you're emotionally violating that woman's rights.
But it's not every man that is emotionally that kind of. Some people, once they cut you and they get you, that's done, business achieved.
And that's why we are here, to tell them that women need emotional support.
Okay.
So, and also vice versa. So it can also happen to a man. Then, thirdly, sexual abuse. Just like she said, if your wife doesn't give you consent, or your partner doesn't give you consent to have sex with her, and you go on to have sex with her, you have sexually abused that woman, and is intimate partner violence. On the other way, if the woman denies the husband or the partner sex, you, the wife, you're abusing your husband. So you have to balance these things together. You have to weigh it and give the correct balance to sexual abuse in partnership.
Okay, that's good to know.
Then financially, let's come to that. You know, most of our women are not empowered. In most families, the men are the one that brings out the money. So as a woman in a relationship, you, the man, if you're not providing the necessary finances needed to take care of your woman, you're abusing her financially, and it will not be fine. It causes frustration, causes coercion, causes quarrels, and could lead to physical abuse. In this definition of intimate partner violence, if you view it very well, you know that one form leads to another. If you emotionally abuse someone, it could lead to aggression.
Yeah, or even denying you of the sex.
Exactly.
And then that one will now lead to physical assault.
Yeah. That may not lead to mobility that she talked about,
yeah,
or mortality that follows.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think we need to get to understand some of these things, so that I think, because if you understand, knowledge is, they said, is power. Because when we know that the little things we do and we think it doesn't really matter, goes a long way to affect our lives and the society at large in a great way. So, can you tell us what are some of the risk factors or the causes, though we've seen the different forms, but can we actually cone down to the real sources, either within the family or outside, that can lead to this intimate partner violence? Dr. Ajamino.
Okay, thank you very much. There are many things that can lead to intimate partner violence. It can be due to financial constraints, especially when the woman is not empowered. If it's only the man that provides for the family, you ask the man for money, for food, for makeup, everything the man provides. Most time when the man does not have or couldn't make money that day, he'll be irritated. And sometimes some women, when they are not being given by their husband as they used to do, they talk badly to the man, and that might lead to frustration, and that man might beat the woman. And sometimes some women actually have bad mouths. They talk so much. Some nag their husband, and it irritates most men. And most men don't like being, when they talk to their wife, the wife will talk back.
They don't like being challenged.
They like being seen as a king in their house. Even if they are messenger in their office, their answer is small young man, sir. If they come to their house, they want the wife to see them as a king. Even if you earn money more than them, even if you are more educated more than them, they want you to be submissive. And when they didn't get such, they also want to beat you to show you that they are greater than you, that are more powerful, to show that they are in charge. Most of them, that's what it causes it. And sometimes lack of education also causes it. Because most people, when they are not educated, they are not well informed, so they don't see the things the normal way. And any little thing, they can also be, they can lead to violence. And most times, even the in-laws around, some of them, they can cause the mother-in-law, the sister-in-laws, most even the old man they even see as a problem in the wife, they'll be the one to point it out to the man.
Don't instigate them.
Don't say them, your wife is doing this. And some men, when they are actually ready to help their wife out in some home errands, even the in-laws, they'll be asked, is your wife controlling you? And most men, when you tell them that, they will want to show that the wife is actually not controlling me by physically assaulting the wife. And most times, this can lead to what they did not expect. It can lead to severe injury, and it can also lead to death. So all these things, most women should also learn, even when their husband is talking, they don't need to talk back. It's good to have self-control. And also, even when the man attempts to beat you, he should leave the environment immediately. Because most men, when you tell them, when they say, I'll beat you, if you didn't run away, even if they don't mean it, they will act of ego and beat the wife. And most times, small thing will lead to something disastrous. These are most of the things that can lead to.
And the woman can even say, okay, you say you want to beat me, beat me.
And
beat me now, and then the man will now beat you to show you that he can beat you.
Even if initially he doesn't mean it. And also, you can also see that some pregnant women are being beaten by their husbands. Surprisingly, be wondering how can a man beat a pregnant woman?
Yeah.
I know most time when some women are pregnant, they're being irritated at every little thing. Because of the hormone. There's most of the house psychological problems. They talk the way they don't used to do before. And some men, some men don't understand. This is not her usual mood. And sometimes they will beat them. And also most of them, their pregnancy symptom might be irritating the husband. And then it might lead to abuse. And most of them will not be able to satisfy their husband sexually. And some men will want to force them to drink. They don't understand. And this, if the woman say no, they will beat the wife. And then it can also lead to serious injury. And also it can lead to death. So these are some of the things that can cause intimate.
I think sometimes in relation to this pregnancy, some men even want to beat maybe an unplanned pregnancy.
Yes.
And like maybe even a relationship, maybe a boyfriend, girlfriend relationship, they are not yet ready for marriage, and then suddenly your girlfriend comes to tell you, I'm pregnant. Yes. I know, I don't want that to go and abort. No. Yes, and then they will now beat the man, the woman, and then to make sure that she aborts that pregnancy. Yes. And then she ends up in the hospital. So I think that's one of the things too that also leads. And then immaturity, age is also one of the risk factors that can lead to intimate partner violence. Well, when people are not matured, you know, either the immaturity makes you to react unnecessarily to little provocations. Yes, you're supposed to ignore. You just react to them, or the woman on herself, because of immaturity too, she just talks anyhow, you know, and then that now leads to the counterfactual behaviors.
And one more thing we are forgetting: infidelity. It has caused a lot of death. When a man suspects the wife, or the wife is suspecting the husband, I think the best thing is, if you find out that your partner is being unfaithful to you, please don't go and kill the person. Just discuss it with the person. If he doesn't want to stop it, leave him. Leave her. Keep yourself safe from sexually transmitted infection that the person will give you. It's not going to kill the person.
Sorry, now you talked about this, assuming that he's having an affair outside the home and he doesn't want, or he or she doesn't want to stop, and then he or she now comes back to the house and now demands for your own, and you refuse. That is another violence now.
Every woman has the right to protect herself.
Exactly.
But every man also has the right not to be denied of his marital rights. So that's kind of like a chain reaction, leads one thing to the other. And I think that's even what's leading to the increasing rates of divorce in advanced countries, which is also creeping into our environment. Okay, because you can't beat me and be unfaithful, and you want me to remain and then get infected. So the simple thing is just to walk away from the marriage. Okay?
Walk away from the relationship that will harm you.
I also want to add that part of one of the causes of this intimate partner violence, children that have been exposed to violence.
Yes.
Psychologists have shown that when they grow up, some of them, quite a large number of them, tend to replicate those behaviors that they've learned and have been ingrained in them. So parents should be careful, because they are having long-lasting effects. And then as society, we encourage the man to see his wife as his property, that he can deal with anytime he wants. You know, some of our communities allow men to beat their wives without any repercussions. I think respect is reciprocal. I can only get the best out of a woman when you respect her. Thank you.
Okay. So you mean that in some cultures that men are expected to beat their wives?
Yes, to prove that you're a man and to teach her her place. And some women too believe that a man who hasn't beaten you doesn't love you.
Wow.
Yes.
Nobody should show you that kind of love.
And it's happening in our environment. It's a wrong set of thinking. We should be abolished. Our young sons should be brought up to respect women.
Yes.
I think that's where we'll start.
Yes, I think that's a very good point.
Yes, our young sons should be able to cringe that another man hits a woman. They should see it as totally wrong. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So now, can you also enumerate more on what are some of the things that we can do or people should do to avoid intimate partner violence in their relationships? I know we've talked about some of them in one or two ways. What can we do to reduce the incidence of this intimate partner violence in our environment?
Yeah, one of them should be women empowerment.
Okay.
Most what causes this physical assault is when there's no money, when the woman asks for money. We used to see it even in the movie. They used to portray all those things that happen. When if they didn't give the woman money, they wouldn't allow it to go to work. And if you know it, the fight will start. So if a woman is empowered, she'll be able to provide for herself some of her primary needs. I will not be asking for the man everything, every little thing. Man will provide food, pay for children's school fees, buy you clothes, buy you makeup, buy everything. So if a woman is empowered and has something doing, it will also help to reduce intimate violence due to financial constraints. And also, some women should also learn not to talk to nag their husband, because it irritates men. So, and also whenever your husband is angry or talking to you angrily, you should not go close or talk back to the man. And if the man attempts to beat you, he has to leave. Don't stay back and say, you can't do it, you can't do it. And some men, even when they don't mean it, will beat you to show that they are they are greater than you, they are more powerful, and you're under them. They don't beat you. So some women behave that way and cause problems themselves. And also men should have self-control. They should know that they are men, they are in charge. They should not respond to every little thing a woman says. Have self-control. Not beating your wife because your wife says something bad, has bad mouth. Is it easy to beat? You should have a self-control to show that you're a man, you're in charge. That's why you show you're a man, you are the head. Don't react to every small thing a woman says. And then try to provide for your family. But even if you don't have, explain to your wife. You don't have. If she when your wife is not working, she depends on you for everything. After you know that she's not working before you marry her, she depends on you on everything. If you don't have, explain to her, I don't have. Let's manage. And then most especially, the woman will not believe you. Believe that her husband doesn't have. When she's aware that he has a side chick, there are people he's taking care of. Why would you say you don't have when you also take care of people outside? Also try to be responsible. And because when you tell your wife you don't have, she will believe you. And also, the government will also help by providing job for people, because a hungry man is an angry man. Because most people, they don't have job, they don't have money, they don't have anything, so they are dealing with every small thing will lead to quarrel. So if there's job, it will also help at least to reduce the violence. And also, women should learn to speak up. They should not die in silence. When you are abused, there are people you can go to. Even if you don't have any other person, go to your doctor. You will get help. Don't die in silence. If you keep on being silent, one day the man might kill you. Also, even a man, if you are being abused by your wife, if you talk to your wife and your wife cannot listen to, there are people you can also talk to. Don't keep it to yourself alone. If you couldn't solve your problem by alone, you should ask for help, so that before things will get out of hand. Because you have seen some people that are being killed or being permanently injured in partner violence. And also, we medical personnel will also try to help women, because some women don't like voicing out, so some of them will be ashamed. Even when they want to talk, they don't know how to start. They'll be so ashamed to say that their husband is being...
Okay, so assuming someone comes to the hospital, how can you identify that she's been abused in a relationship?
Okay, that is very important. And the truth is that we miss majority of these women, because over time they have learned to camouflage and pretend that all is well. But for those that we can identify, there are some markers that when you're perceptive enough, you could recognize. This would include physical marks of abuse, a black eye, a split lip, bruises on the arms, injuries in suspicious areas, that could alert you that this woman is undergoing a form of abuse. Also, such women that used to be outgoing, used to be bubbly, cheerful, suddenly become withdrawn, suddenly stop going out for social gatherings, don't pick their calls, always rushing to get home before their husband is home, become so withdrawn, become depressed, become anxious, And you will notice that in the clinic, some of these women present with, psychosomatic illnesses, like irritable bowel syndrome, chronic pelvic pain, dyspareunia, recurrent sexually transmitted infections. They keep coming to the gynecology clinic for one reason or the other, and it might be a cry for help, for which you should probe further, and you find out that such women are actually being abused, or people that are being followed by their spouses possessively. For every antenatal clinic, their spouse is there. For every test to be paid for, the spouse is there, overlooking everything that is happening. Or when a woman starts complaining on how controlling her husband is, these are little markers that could point out that a woman is being abused, even if she doesn't say it. So the onus is on you as a doctor or as a healthcare professional to compassionately ask and probe on the person's life.
Okay, so now when you as a doctor now, they've presented to you and you have identified some of these things that we've talked about, or even maybe an alcoholic husband, because it's one of the risk factors that can have someone that involves in binge drinking. He comes back and then looks for someone to descend on, and you're the next prey. So when we identify some of those things, how can we now help out these women? Okay, can you help us, Dr. Nwidadu?
As a doctor, our primary help will come from counseling this woman properly. Give her a proper counseling. Tell her the disadvantage of continuing to stay in an abusive environment. Tell her that just give her proper counseling and then provide her help on how to live. Because what I found out is that most of these women are not empowered. Imagine a lady doctor be beaten by the husband. It's rare because now they are empowered. So there's no way, even if you beat a doctor, she has something to support herself with. So if we're able to provide these women with proper counseling, how to live, how to help themselves, getting something doing, even if it means petty trading, to provide something and to help support themselves, it will keep them away from an abusive environment. That is one. Secondly, not asking to invite the husband for counseling as well. This counseling should be in two ways. You counsel the woman, you counsel the husband. You should hear from the husband. We should also always give them benefits of doubt. Hear from them, know what the problem is. If they agree to come, most times they may not agree to come. You know what the problem is. See if there's any help you can give. You can tell the woman that she can report to family law center. We have family law center that helps manages abusive relationship like this. You can report to social welfare. Ask the woman for her consent to do that as a doctor. But I want to bring in that if I counsel a woman that is in an abusive relationship and I'm seeing the tendency that this woman may lose her life in that relationship, I will leave my medical profession. I'll come in as a sister now, as a woman, my fellow woman. If she refuses to report to the police or to the appropriate headquarters, I will help her do that.
You mean you will report to the police even without her consent?
This one now I have left because as a doctor, my oath will not allow me to help if she refuses to give consent. But as a woman that I am.
So assuming you bring in the police and then the woman now says, no, I was not abused. Maybe I fell down. What do you now do?
I would not have done my job. So I've done my best to help this woman out of trouble. If she decides to go ahead and die, at least
you'll be breaking her confidentiality.
That is why I said I will leave my post as a doctor. I will come out as a woman.
Because now you exposed her confidence in you to go and tell the police about the problem she confided in you. Now, because if not for your place as a medical personnel, you wouldn't have had the privilege of knowing what.
Sometimes they may not tell you this. If you find out by yourself, what do you expect to do?
But she came to you.
Remember you asked the question, how will you know?
Yes.
Most of the time they don't want to leave.
Yes.
And when you want to discuss with the person,
okay, from your probing
exactly.
Yes.
And if I see that you are going to die, man, I will leave you to die. I will leave medicine. I will leave.
Now, I think this is now between patient autonomy and doctor's paternalism. Now, this is now a conflict in medical ethics. Now, do you now impose your authoritative place as the doctor to now decide what happens to this woman? Or do you now allow her to decide what happens to herself? Okay, doctor also wants to say something. Yeah.
When women are abused, especially physical, sexual abuse, one thing that happens to them is that they lose control. The abuser is taking control over their lives at that moment. So when they come to you as a doctor and you insist on getting help for them without their consent, you are taking control once again over their life, increasing their distress.
And their risk of being abused.
I know you desire to help, but you need to allow that person, allow you to help her.
I want to ask a question. Let's assume you want to give this woman time to help her.
Okay.
And she goes home and the next day you hear that she's dead.
She chose. It is her decision.
No, you have failed her as a woman.
Can we strike a balance here? Now, assuming the woman doesn't want to disclose this to the police for fear of being abused when she gets home by the husband. Now, you want to tell her that, okay, I understand your fears. I know that you need help, but you don't want to involve the force, because when I get back home, the same man, after being addressed by the force, will still come back to me in the house. Now, can I now address it from a different background altogether without getting to know that it's from here? Maybe, is there any other way? Maybe outside the scenario, maybe somebody will have to get to come asking the husband and making some kind of enquiries surrounding what is happening around with the aim of still achieving the same thing without the man having to get to know that it was the woman that reported him.
And there's no woman you will offer this.
Yes.
That will reject it.
Yes. So that at the end of the day, she doesn't go, because she's going back to that same house.
Yes.
And you won't go back with her. But if she knows that the man will not get to know that she's the one that disclosed, and anyhow you want to do it, but let me be safe and be out of the picture, so that I won't get, because at the time after, maybe the police will try to correct him and all that, and at the end of the day, when I'm sleeping in the night, they will start meeting me, so that I will not report again.
Because you have an issue in this country, the police would always say, go home and settle.
Yes, it's a family affair.
And women are dying by the day, so it is your duty to determine the risk to that woman's life, to her children's life. Find out the risk she is. Find out if she needs to leave that environment. If she agrees to leave that environment, you make arrangements for that. In civilized countries, they have social workers that will arrange with the woman. You give them time, and the car will come to get you once the man has left the house. Especially when the woman's life is at risk. But if you feel from your discussion there is no immediate threat to life, then you can now make this, try to find a way to get the social welfare involved but it's going to be very difficult.
Anyway, I also think in intimate partner violence, I think the FIDA, the Federation of Women Lawyers, I think they work hand in hand.
I think they work with the family law centers.
So getting somebody to help out may not be a bad idea. After all, the man that beats a woman doesn't beat the woman when nobody will see.
Yes.
Nobody knows about this. So
it could have come from anybody. The report could have been from anybody. So as we try to wrap up now, we've been talking about this because we want the safety of our women, and we want our marriages to be safer and for people to enjoy their marriage and not to enjoy it. Now, what were the viewers before we wrap up? Dr. Uzo.
Thank you very much. I want to say to our viewers that no woman should have to live in fear. If from this discussion, because some women don't know they are being abused. They think it's the norm in life. I want to say that you can reach out for help. Don't die in silence. Once you've identified that you're being abused, reach out to somebody. Reach out to your doctor. Reach out to your pastor. Don't die in silence. Speak up. and get help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Chinonso.
Yes, I know most women don't want to report because they don't want the marriage to get broken. They don't want broken marriage. They don't want to go back to their father's house so that the in-laws will not abuse them. They said reporting your problem won't break your family. But if you continue to die in silence, one day you will die. It's the only person that is living that will marry. So if you are being abused, no matter the type, whether sexually, whether physically, emotionally, please report. If you don't know who else to tell your doctor. There are female doctors you can meet that will guide and help you. That doesn't mean your husband, your home will be broken. The things will be settled out. Everything you'll be cancelled. Your husband will be cancelled if necessary. The cause of the abuse will be found and will be treated. Thank you very much.
Dr. Chimida.
I just want you viewers to know that intimate partner violence is a cycle. From one violence to honeymoon to aggression to another violence. Please stay safe and stay away from abusive relationship. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our discussants today and to our dear viewers. We as gynecologists and also as members of the Medical Women Association are telling you to have a safe relationship. Don't endure violence. Learn to speak out. There are people out there to listen to you and to lend a voice to help you out, and also to make sure that our marriages are safe and are enjoyed. Thank you very much for listening to us, and stay safe in this COVID period. Keep social distancing and stay safe. Thank you very much.
Wow. I wish we have more time to, go on and on and on. It will never end. But we have to, bring that to an end. And I hope that you have learned a lot. And if you are a victim of intimate partner violence, please, you can call any of the number that you will see right there on your screen. And we will get to discuss with you and see how we can help you survive. And when you call this number and you don't receive a reply immediately and nobody picks, just send a text message. We are going to call you back. We will not fail that. We're going to call you back and see how we can join hands together as women and make you come out of the dehumanizing situation. God bless you. Thank you.